Namaste friends, welcome you all for the biology session. This is MGS Biology here from CET Sankalp Crash Course. In today's class, we can discuss about the chapter Sexual Reproduction Flowering Plants from 2nd PU Biology. So what is flower exactly? The flower is a unit of sexual reproduction in plant, or you can say that it is a site where sexual reproduction takes place. So if I want to say that what exactly the flower is a site where sexual reproduction takes place. Site where sexual reproduction takes place. It is a unit of sexual reproduction in angiosperms. So there will be the different diversities of structures in the inflorescence. So inflorescence varies from flower to flower. So inflorescence varies from flower to flower, right? So structural variation in inflorescence, flowers, different size, and you can say that other floral parts. So what are the different floral parts which are involved in the reproduction, and how they are going to produce a gametes, and finally they are going to produce the end products of sexual reproduction. So ನಮಗಾಗಲೇ ತಿಳಿದಿದೆ end product of sexual reproduction ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, that is end products of sexual reproduction are fruits and seeds. Correct, right? Fruits and seeds are the end products of sexual reproduction. So these inflorescence floral parts are involved, right, with their different variations, or you can say with the different variations, they are involved in the production of end products, fruits and seeds. In this chapter, we're going to take up how that the structure of flower will be there, and how pollen grains development takes place, and how the male gamete and female gamete development occurs, fertilization takes place. Before that, how the stamen transfer from one flower to the next flower, that is stamen. Generally we can say that the which represents stamen, which represents male reproductive structure, in which we can say that the pollen grains will be produced, and those pollen grains which will be transferred into that. So if you consider that the stamen exactly in the anther, right, the pollen grains production takes place, and they're going to transfer into the stigma of the female reproductive the part. So transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma, right, which is called as pollination. So we're going to discuss about what are the different types of pollinations, and how it will going to helps in double fertilization in angiosperms and embryo development, and finally fruits and seeds. So let us move on to the structure of flower. So in this, we know that there are 4 holes: calyx, corolla. First, let me take 2 holes. These 2 holes are the non-essential holes, which are not involved in the reproduction. Why they are called as non-essential? We'll consider mainly the reproduction here. They are not involved in reproduction. So whenever if you consider this, they won't involved in the reproduction, but they involved in providing protection to the other holes, or you can say protection to the essential holes. So let us move on to what exactly the calyx and corolla structure involved. So in calyx, generally we can say that the first hole, it is a first hole, right, and it is a modified leaf. Very important, modified the leaves structure, which is a modified leaves. The members of calyx are called as sepals, and this term, the sepal, the term to represent, that is the calyx term to represent many sepals. I can say that a collection of sepals represented by the term calyx, represented by the term calyx. So, and often what is it? These structures are green color. These structures are green color and protect the flower. So, very important thing. They helps in protection. They won't involve in reproduction. In it is called as what is it? The non-essential oil. Protect the flower in bud stage. Protect the flower in bud stage. Next, a calyx, which is the second oil. Second oil, right? Oil means which is a layer. From outer side, if we're going to move on, that is the outer one is what is it? The sepal, and next to that is what is it? The petal, and next to that is androecium, and next to that is gynoecium. So like this, we can represent the structure which are arranged. So whenever we're going to consider that the floral parts which are there, they are arranged in the form of orals. Arranged in the form of orals. So second oral, that is, which is also generally we can say that the to represent the collection of petals. The term used to represent the collection of petals. The term used to represent the what is it, collection of petals is called as corolla. Corolla. And it is also a modified, same like that the calyx, modified leaves, and these are also helps in protection. Along with that, one very important thing that helps in attraction of pollinators. Attraction of what is it? Pollinators. As we all know that the agents, or I can say that the insects which what is it? They attracted by the colorful corolla, and that is what the petals here. What is it? The role of petal is involved in reproduction. That is mainly indirectly, not directly. They won't form any structure, but they're going to attract the insects. So if petals are arranged based on the arrangement of petals, if petals are radial symmetry, if petals are radial symmetry, as we all know that the flower is actinomorphic, right? So flower is actinomorphic. Radial symmetry ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನು actinomorphic symmetry ಅಥವಾ actinomorphic flower. If the petals which shows, right, if the petals are arranged in the bilateral symmetry, ನಲ್ಲಿ arrange ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ, that is bilateral symmetry, we can say that is zygomorphic. So zygomorphic. So if petals are arranged radially, that is radial symmetry, they are called as, the flower is called as actinomorphic. If petals are arranged in bilateral symmetry, that is zygomorphic. That is zygomorphic. So what exactly the other structure? So just we can have a small diagram of the flower, and where we can just understand exactly the structure, how, what are the different things which will be there. So here we can say that the flower structure, just to represent it, right, I will take a small diagram. This is a ovary, right? So ovary, wherein which we can say that the stigma will be there, and style, and ovary, and inside there will be the arrangement of what is it, the locules will be there, right? That is the ovarian wall, and along with that, so this we can consider as a ovary. Along with that, let me take the next layer, which is what is that, the stamen. So stamen, right, varies in length, right, and if you consider that sometime they are attached to the what is it, the ovarian wall, or sometime to the petals, right? Thalamus are to the petals, we can say. So next oral, which is we can take, that is the, we'll take different color here, and this is the petal. So and this layer which is there, generally the where the ovary, what is it, they placed this structure, not layer, the structure which is called as thalamus. So thalamus is a structure, right? It is a swollen part It is a swollen part of the flower, right, where the ovary sits on that. Ovary sits on that. So thalamus is also called as, this is very important, thalamus is also called as receptacle. Thalamus the receptacle antanu karithive. That is a swollen part of the, what is it, flower, that is stalk, and this is a stalk. So if you consider this generally in the structure, the stalk is a, we can get one question here, what is stalk exactly? It is a modified shoot. It is a modified shoot, right? So and it forms a floral axis, so on which the all those, what is it, holes are arranged, and it holds the different holes of stalk that holds. It is a modified shoot. And one more point, that stalk holds the holes of flowers, holds the holes of flower, holes of flower. So this is the thing you have to keep it in mind. And stalk, so keep it in mind, thalamus is also called as receptacle. That is a swollen part, or you can say base of the flower on which the ovary lies, and on which the ovary lies. So what is that stalk? It is a modified shoot. Stalk is a modified shoot. Keep it in mind. Stalk is also called as pedicel. ಈ ಎರಡು ನೇಮ್ಗಳು ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗೋದು ಬೇಡ. ಸೊ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಪೆಡಿಸಲ್, and thalamus which is also called as receptacle. Stalk is a modified shoot, whereas that is the swollen part of the stalk is called as thalamus. Swollen part of the stalk anta kuda helbodu, swollen part of the stalk, right? Or you can say base of the flower, base of the flower, which is called as, what is that, thalamus or receptacle. So if pedicel is present, such flowers are called as, if pedicel is present, such flowers are called as pedicellate. If no, what is it, the pedicel, they are called as sessile. Flower without stalk, in particular flower with the stalk called as pedicellate. Flower without stalk, they are called as sessile. They are called as sessile. Example pedicellate ke rose, hibiscus, right? And same like that for sessile we can say example sunflower, saffron, sunflower, is it, saffron. So this is the major thing related to the, what is it, pedicel and receptacle. Pedicel, stalk, thalamus, receptacle. So next move on to the next oval, that is the androecium, the third oval of the flower, that is androecium, right? So if we can't differentiate calyx and corolla, there we can use the term, right? Where we can differentiate, we can give the name calyx and, what is it, the corolla. If we can't differentiate, if calyx and corolla are fused, we can't be able to differentiate, collectively called as perianth, collectively called as perianth. Illi helbodu lily, water lily. So this is one. And the third oval, that is androecium. So androecium is the third oval, right, and which is a male reproductive structure. The term given to represent the male reproductive structure of the flower, or male reproductive system of the flower. And at the same time here we can say that each stamen is made up of, let us take one small diagram here. So this is the filament, right, and to which generally this stamen is, that is anther is attached, right, to the, this is called as filament, long stalk, what is it, the, or you can say that the long slender tube, long slender tube. So long slender tube, which is called as filament. So on which, or you can say it holds anther. So this is very, very important. Anther, right, where exactly the pollen production takes place. Pollen grains, what is that, produced through the process of microsporogenesis. right? Microsporogenesis. Elagate microsporogenesis, anther lagate. Hence anther is also called as microsporangium. Microsporangium and particularly, so anther is also called as microsporangium, where microsporogenesis takes place to produce a pollen grains. So anther ಏನಿದೆ ನೋಡೋಣ, that is the anther structure which is a bilobe. Anther structure which is generally it is a bilobe and made up of 4 chambers. So this structure you can recollect here. So just with the, this is a one lobe and this is the other lobe, right? So here we can say that the microsporangium, inside the pollen sacs are present. So anther, right, which is a bilobed, right? Here we can see that this is a one lobe, right? During young stage we can write like this, and after attainment of what is it, the maturity, that we can write or represent with separate microsporangium. So you can say that the pollen sacs. So and here anther is bilobed, right? So anther is the bilobed, and that which mainly has chambers. Those chambers are called as pollen sacs. Bilobe and chambers are called as pollen sacs. So this here, which we can represent that bilobed structure, each lobe having 2 sacs. So like this we can say one, this is the one and this is the another one. So 2 sacs. So 2 sacs which are there, each lobe with what is it, the 2 sacs, and later it will develop into 1 and 2. This is this, in this lobe it is 1 and 2, and in this lobe this is 1 and 2. So there we can represent 4 microsporangia, total 4 microsporangia. So that is what, when anther, if you consider that a typical angiosperm anther, that is a bilobed and each lobe having 2 theca, hence it is called as dithecous. Each lobe having 2 theca, right? That is what, 2 chambers, right? Hence it is called as dithecous. And let us move on to, and we can discuss further about this. So anther which gives rise to microspores, and each, what is it, the microspore develop into pollen grains, and that which has a male, what is it, the gamete. So pollen sacs microsporangia ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, pollen sacs microsporangia. ಸೊ ಈಗ microsporogenesis ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡೋಣ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. So microsporogenesis, so what happens during this process? Generally the microsporogenesis, where what is it, the microspore tetrad formation, and finally leads to pollen grain development. So microspore mother cells which will undergo meiosis, and that produce microspore tetrad. So microspore tetrad, and that microspore tetrad which further undergo what is it, the mitosis, and it will going to produce a pollen grains. So each tetrad will going to produce 4 what is it, the pollen grains, and these pollen grains which represents the male gametophyte, and generally 60% of the angiosperm with the angiosperm pollen grains with 2 cell stage. So this is the one you have to keep it in mind. What is the 2 cell stage? There will be vegetative cell, larger vegetative cell, and smaller generative cell. So one is vegetative cell, other one is generative cell, right? So that is the generally the reproductive cell. So now here we can take the next structure, that is gynoecium. So before going to take that gynoecium, let us have the structure of microsporangium, that is TS of anther. So whenever we are going to consider that, The in angiosperm, the anther is dithecous. Anther is dithecous. There is bilobed, and each lobe, what is it? Each lobe will be with two pollen sacs. Total 4 pollen sacs will be there. So pollen sacs are also called as microsporangia. Pollen sacs are also called as microsporangia. So next, the thing, let us take the TS of anther. TS of anther. So if you're going to consider this, the TS of anther, so here we can take that the structure, young anther, I can say structure of microsporangium. Generally labeling kelbodu, right? In NEET, or I can say that in CET, they may ask the labeling of this microsporangium. So this exactly microsporangia, right? We can say that the where exactly this microsporangium. So these are called as microsporangium. Microsporangium, right? So now let us take wall layer. That anther wall is made up of 4 layers. So if you're going to write like this, 1, outermost, 2, 3, and 4, and inside the one more, that is sporangynous, sporogenous cells. So here we can take this structure like this. The one, what is it? The outermost layer, which is called as epidermis. Outermost layer is called as epidermis, and next to that is endothecium, right? In all this, what is it? The nucleus will be there, right, which are generally diploid. And the second layer is endothecium. Second layer is endothecium, and multi-layered, what is it? The 2 to 3 layer, what is it? The middle layer is present. So middle layer is 2 to this completely we can consider as, what is that? Middle layer. And the why it is called as middle layer, the next to that is the tapetal cells are present. So where we can see the tapetal cells which are present, so that layer which is called as tapetum. So the next 4th layer which is called as tapetum, and inside this we can take sporangynous cells. Inside this we can take sporangynous cells, and these sporangynous cells generally we can take this in the circular form. So idu represent ಮಾಡೋಣ. So these are the sporangynous cells, and these sporangynous cells which will going to produce a pollen grains. So very important thing, the outermost layer is epidermis, next layer, second layer is endothecium, and third layer is a middle layer, multi-layered, and a 4th layer is tapetum. Tapetum, which provides the, what is it? Nourishment, provides nourishment to the developing developing sporangynous cells. So these are the sporangynous cells, or I can say sporangynous tissue. So let us mention what is the function of each layer. Epidermis, single layer. Outermost question expect ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, that outermost single layer, right, where you can say that which protects flat cells, which helps in protection, which includes single layer of, what is it? The flat cells, single layer of flat cells, right, in the matured anther, right, and the second layer which is endothecium. So second layer which is endothecium, right, that is also a single layer made up of single layered cell, and second wall layer with cellulose thickening, what is it? The thickening, hence it also, what is it? Play a role in protection, right. And we can say that little pectin and lignin will be there. Cellulose, little pectin and lignin will be there, which provides a protection, right. And next, the third one, middle layer, that is also helps in, what is it? The protection, and mainly that is third layer which is multi-layer, right, 2 to 3 layered multi-layer structure, multi-layer structure, and this, what is it, all these three layers which will going to dehisce, helps in dehiscence. All the three helps after attainment of maturity, helps in dehiscence of anther, dehiscence of anther, rupturing of, what is it, anther. So at maturity all these three layers become fibrous, all these three layers become fibrous, and what is it, the generally we can say that they're rigid at maturity, and except at a particular point, right, where they're going to helps in dehiscence, helps in dehiscence. And next, the fourth layer, that is the tapetum, not last layer, that is fourth layer, tapetum. We can say here this is the innermost, right, with multinucleate polyploidy. This is very important. Multinucleate, and what is it, the ploidy nature is where you can say that polyploidy. Here we can represent in 3n, right, and these are nutritive, right, tapetal cells are nutritive and provide nourishment to the, what is it, the developing, what is it, microspore cells, or I can say developing pollen grains, and which produces mainly, that is ubist bodies. Ubist bodies are the different types of, what is it, the cells. They're going to coat it, mainly they're going to produce a sporopollenin. Tapetum also helps in the production of sporopollenin, right, which coats the outer wall of the pollen grain, which forms outer wall of the pollen grain, So next, here we can say that, so this is the one which provides, what is it, the nourishment to the developing pollen grains or microspore tetrads. And finally we can take the gynoecium. So what exactly the gynoecium here we can mention? So the gynoecium is the fourth whorl, that is the gynoecium or gynoecium, right. So this is the fourth whorl of the flower, and that is generally found in this, often found in the center of the flower, covered by three other whorls, right, and it is a female reproductive structure in the female reproductive system. So it is made up of, so just if you consider that the structure here, I'm going to take once again the flower. So here it is stigma, right, and then style. After that we can say that is a ovary, that is the ovary, stigma, style, ovary, and inside, what is it, the ovarian chamber with locules, where exactly the ovules are present. So arrangement of ovules within the locules, which is called as placentation. So this is the ovarian chamber, this is a complete, that is ovarian chamber. So now we'll take, what is the exactly the style, and for the, this is the receptive surface of the pollen grain, which is called as stigma, receptive surface. So stigma is sticky end of style, and this serves as, what is that, receptive surface or landing platform for receptive surface for pollen grains, which receives the pollen grains. And next, what is that, the style. So style is elongated structure which connects the stigma and ovary, which connects the stigma and ovary. So exactly the style is an elongated slender part, same like filament of the stamen, and it holds the stigma and attaches the ovary ovary with the stigma, right. And what is the ovary? That is a swollen part, right, wherein which there is a swollen basal portion of the, what is it, the female reproductive structure, where ovules are present, it houses the ovules which contain male, what is it, the gametes, which contains male gametes. So inside the ovary there is a ovarian cavity. That ovarian cavity, which is called as, inside the ovary, right, inside the ovary there is ovarian cavity called as locule, right? So that is locule. So where that is the locules are present, right? So inside the ovary where locules are present, in which placenta are located. Inside the locule, placenta are present. So placenta is located. So that is what we can say. Arising from the placenta there is a ovule. Arising from placenta there is a ovule. So in simple, what is it, the structure, we can represent that, what is it, generally ovule which is inside the ovary, how exactly it is present. So if this is the ovarian chamber and this is the ovarian chamber, and this part which is the placenta arrangement, right? So and this is this part which is the ovule, this space which is called as ovule, and this which is attached to placenta is called as funicle, and this is the placenta, right? So that which connects the this space which is called as locule, and the outermost wall is called as ovarian wall. So ovarian wall, which is also called as pericarp, right? Ovarian wall generally it's developed into pericarp, locule, ovarian cavity, and ovules we all know that becomes seed, right? Becomes seed. So this is what actually the structure of the ovary, how it will be inside. So next move on to how microsporogenesis takes place. In simple way we can write how exactly the microsporogenesis takes place, right? So first step is, we can say that the, I already mentioned that pollen mother cell which will undergo meiosis, right? In simple way I will write one flow chart here for the microsporogenesis, right? So one is microspore mother cell, right, which divides, which undergo meiosis and forms microspore tetrad. So microspore tetrad, which will be like this. So this is a one, second one, right, and the third and backside one. So microspore tetrad. So most common is microspore tetrad, that is a tetrahedral form, actually tetrahedral form, that is why it is called as microspore tetrad. So meiosis, and we know that 4 cells will be produced. So sporangynous cells, right, keep it in mind, megaspore mother cells ಅಂತ ಯಾವ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ, that is in the anther the primary sporangynous cells develops into, what is that, they capable to produce microspore mother cell or pollen mother cell, and those cells, some of the sporangynous cells will undergo mitosis, which will be keep on, what is it, the producing, what is that, microspore mother cell or pollen, what is it, the mother cell. So in the first meiotic division which forms a microspore, and here with the help of calyce, so 4, what is it, the pollen grains will be produced, microspores or pollen grains. That is what female gametophyte. Next, the structure of pollen grain. So if you consider that structure, generally we can write like this, the pollen grain structure. This is the outer layer which is called as exine, and inner layer which is called as intine, and outer layer which is not, what is it, the continuous. Generally there are some, what is it, the small pores which are called as germ pore, right? The outer wall layer is called as exine, inner intine. So exine is made up of, what is it, the sporopollenin, highly resistant organic material. So exine if you consider this, which will be with, what is it, the, so this which represent like this. So here we can represent that small, what is it, the pore which is present, that represents the absence of sporopollenin. That is highly resistant organic material. Note, exam lago chances is there, highly resistant organic material which resists all the enzymes and other chemicals and acids and helps in giving organic material, highly resistant organic, what is it, the material which will going to provide, no enzyme can, simplest we can say, no enzyme can degrade viability, no enzyme can degrade this sporopollenin. So that is why it provides a protection. So hexane is made up of sporopollenin, and intine is made up of cellulose and pectin. Cellulopectin. So what is the role of intine? Generally intine helps in the formation of pollen tube. Intine helps in the formation of pollen tube through germ pore. So this is how the pollen tube will be going to form, through germ pore. So this is a pollen tube. So with this we can conclude, what is it, the pollen grains. And in that, the pollen grain, we know that one is a larger cell which is called as vegetative cell, right? Vegetative cell with a dense cytoplasm, right? Sorry, with, what is it, the generally which has the cytoplasm which is completely packed in the generative cell. So this is a generative cell, little spindle shape, right? And bigger in size. Generally we can take the difference between generative cell and vegetative cell, right? So generative cell which is smaller, and that floats in the cytoplasm of the vegetative cell, and vegetative cell which is a large and bigger in size, and which forms vegetative cell which forms a tube cell, right? That helps in the elongation of, what is it, the pollen tube, and which is a irregular shape, whereas here generative cell is spindle shape. So next, viability. So I've already mentioned that through germ pore, the pollen tube, what is it, develops with the help of intine. So importance of, what is it, the pollen grain, where that it helps to store a gamete, what is it, the male gamete, and used in crop breeding program, rich nutrients, used as a tablet, right? Many other, what is it, the significance are there. Athletes will going to use to increase their performance as a nutrient supplement, and also raise horses to provide the nutrients, and some which causes allergies and bronchial disorders, that is what, like asthma and bronchitis. So pollen allergy ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. So viability ಇಡ್ಬಿಡೋಣ, right? So we can expect one question here, what exactly the viability, period for which pollen grain remains viable or alive, period for which ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಮಯ ಇದು ಬದುಕಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು. So period for which pollen grain remains alive ಅಂದರೆ ಇದ್ರ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಂತಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ರಿಮೈನ್ಸ್, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್, ಅಲೈವ್, ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಮಯ ಇದು ಬದುಕಿರುತ್ತೆ, ರಿಮೈನ್ಸ್ ಅಲೈವ್. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್, it varies from species to species. It is not like, what is it, it will going to take only 30 minutes which will be there in rice and wheat. So direct we can use this in the questions, 30 minutes viability in rice and wheat, and 1 month, right? So approximately 1 month in Rosaceae, Solanaceae, Legumiaceae, and Leguminaceae, Rosaceae, Solanaceae, and what is that, Leguminaceae, which shows 1 month, and some which years, some which will going to show years. So here, when we'll consider that the viability, right? So each and every, what is that, the pollen grain which won't maintain the same viability, right? And same like that, some which will going to, what is it, the some pollen grains which will be in mass, large mass, that is called as the pollinium, right? So pollinium. So that is what we can say that generally that is the pollen kit. Many microspores which are present in some, the microspores are present in a grouped, right, grouped together to form pollinium, grouped together to form pollinium. It is a mass of pollen grain. In a simple way we can say that is, it is a mass of many, what is that, pollen, mass of pollen grains, mass of pollen grains. So at a time, sometime we can say that the agent which is going to carry insects, they are going to carry entire mass of pollen grains transferred as a unit. That is what. So generally, in case of pollinium. Next, sometime we can store this, what is it, the pollen grains, and in, what is it, the liquid nitrogen, that is at minus 196 degree Celsius, at minus 196 degree Celsius. So with this, in some 60% of the angiosperm shed their pollen grains in 2 cell stage, and remaining 40% 3 cell stage, that is after division. So with this we can conclude the pollen, what is it, the grain, and we can take megasporogenesis. So before that I will give a ovule structure. So anatropous ovule structure, we are all familiar with that, and before that we can take the structure of, what is it, the pistil, where I mentioned gynoecium. Gynoecium, we can also say that the with single pistil, right? Pistil is a member of member used to, the member of gynoecium represented by the term pistil. So if gynoecium is with single pistil, so direct question, single pistil idre, generally we will say monocarpellary. So pistils we can also call it as carpels, right? So carpels. So monocarpellary. So monocarpellary. And if 2 pistils are there, gynoecium with 2 pistils, the pistils, they are called as multicarpellary. If they are not fused, right, if they are fused, syncarpous. If they are not, fused, if they are not fused, apocarpous ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So syncarpous, fused, the pistil, ಹೇಗೆ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಹೀಗೆ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. So which will be in the form of, the fused. So fused condition which will be there generally in papaver. So fused, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಮಲ್ಟಿಕಾರ್ಪಲರಿ ಸಿಂಕಾರ್ಪಸ್. ಸೊ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇದು. ಸೊ ಮಲ್ಟಿಕಾರ್ಪಲರಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಮೆನಿ ಕಾರ್ಪಲ್ಸ್, ಮಲ್ಟಿಕಾರ್ಪಲರಿ ಸಿಂಕಾರ್ಪಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ಯಾವುದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂದರೆ ಪಾಪವರ್ ಸ್ಯಾಮ್ನಿಫರಮ್, ಪಾಪವರ್ ಸ್ಯಾಮ್ನಿಫರಮ್, right? So this is very very important. So direct question, why we can expect this, that is diagram represented in NCERT book. So generally direct question ಇದನ್ನು expect ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, right? So that is what you have to keep it in mind. And what is that, multicarpellary apocarpus, multicarpellary apocarpus ಯಾವುದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು generally, that is Michelia, right? So Michelia champaka, right? So this is, you have to keep it in mind. And structure of ovule governor. So anatropous ovule typical structure, generally we can take that the simple diagram to represent that. So I will just give, the diagram of the ovule, easy way to represent. This is the embryo sac, right? So embryo sac which is covered by nucellus, and nucellus is incompletely covered by integument, right, which forms a micro, the pile, that is a small opening, and that which in turn, the forms, which is going to form funicle which is attached like this, and that funicle that funicle which attaches with the placenta, right, attaches to the body of the ovule, where the point of attachment of funicle to the body of the ovule is called as hilum. So it's a very important question. So hilum, generally we can expect that the question where exactly it will going to attach, right? So based on that, different types of ovules are there, so generally not required. So what exactly the hilum? The point of attachment of funicle with the body of the ovule. So, and what is that funicle? It is a stalk. Funicle is a stalk of the ovule, right? Funicle is the stalk of the ovule, or you can say that, where you can say they connects the ovule to the placenta. Funicle ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮವಾಗಿ ಗಮನಿಸಿ. connects the ovule to the placenta, connects ovule to the placenta. And what is that hilum? Hilum is the point of attachment. What is that? Point of, what is that? Attachment of funicle to the ovule. Funicle to the ovule. Ovule ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಜನರಲಿ ಫನಿಕಲ್ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ನ ಯಾವ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಬಾಡಿ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಓವಿಲ್ಗೆ ಈ ಲೇಯರ್ ಶೇಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಲೇಯರು ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೈಲಮ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟು ದಟ್, this ridge, right, where the hilum attaches to the body of the, what is it, this ridge which is called as raphe. ಈ ರಿಡ್ಜ್ನ raphe ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Now internally, so outside in the ovule there are two integuments, that is outer integument and inner integument. So there are two integuments, sometime single integument ಕೂಡ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, monotegmic ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So integument, right? So that is outer integument, inner integument, and next to that is a nucellus, right? Next to that is a nucellus. So integument generally is a protective structure. Integument which protects the ovule, and see the point where that the nucellus is not covered by integument, that is called as micropyle, that is which forms a small opening. So micropyle is a small opening which represents the absence of integument. Small opening, no integument will be there. ಸೊ ಯಾವ ಕಡೆ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಪೈಲ್ ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಮೈಕ್ರೋಪೈಲಾರ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಪೈಲಾರ್ ಎಂಡ್. ಆಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಟು ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಚಲಾಸಲ್ ಎಂಡ್. ಚಲಾಸಲ್ ಎಂಡ್. ಆಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಟು ದಟ್ is chalazal end. Opposite to that is chalasa, right? So basal part of the ovule opposite to micropyle is called as chalasa. So what exactly? Nucellus. So integument encloses the cells. So if you consider this is the cells, highly nutritive, what is it, and reserve food material will be there in the nucellus. Reserve food material will be there. So highly nutritive reserve food material, right, enclosed by integument, so that is called as nucellus. They provide nourishment to the developing embryo sac. And finally, generally not nourishment, one of the cell which is going to develop into embryo sac, and inside the nucellus located, and this region I'm going to shade now, this is what actually embryo sac. So the structure which covers, covered by nucellus is called as embryo sac. So next thing we can go to, the development of, how exactly the development of embryo sac, or you can say that the female gametophyte, matured embryo sac, which is called as female gametophyte, that is megasporogenesis. Let us finish this and we can select some question. Megasporogenesis. So megasporogenesis, here once again some of the archisporial cell, right, which will be present, right, in the ovule, right. So some cells of the nucellus develops into archisporial cell, and those archisporial cell which will going to develop into megaspore mother cell. So ಈಗ ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಮೆಗಾಸ್ಪೋರ್ ಮದರ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು ನ್ಯೂಸೆಲ್ಲಸ್ ಇಂದ, ಸೊ ನ್ಯೂಸೆಲಸ್ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೂ ಮೊದಲೇ ನ್ಯೂಸೆಲಸ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಸ್ ಇಂಟು ಆರ್ಕಿಸ್ಪೋರಿಯಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆರ್ಕಿಸ್ಪೋರಿಯಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಮೆಗಾಸ್ಪೋರ್ ಮದರ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಮೆಗಾಸ್ಪೋರ್ ಮದರ್ ಸೆಲ್ ವಿಚ್ ವಿಲ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಗೋ ಮಿಯೋಸಿಸ್, ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ which will going to produce 4 megaspores, and those 4 megaspores which is produced in the form of linear tetrad. ಅಲ್ಲಿ the tetrahedral form ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ linear tetrad, right. So microspore linear tetrad, and among those 4 one will be functional. So only one megaspore which will be remains one functional, 3 degenerates. Such type of development is called as monosporic development. One megaspore involved in the development of embryo sac, adanna monosporic. One megaspore involved in the development of female gametophyte, monosporic. Sir, ಎರಡು ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ? ಎಸ್, ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ ದಟ್ ಡೈಸ್ಪೋರಿಕ್ ಆರ್ bisporic. So trisporic, like that there will be involvement with the megaspore will be there. So now this which will going to develop into embryo sac. So one which is remains functional. So if you consider this structure, you are all familiar with this. So final state I will take this is only nucellus cell, and this is what actually the megaspore, right. So larger one which is a nucleus, and here it is covered by nucellus. So that will undergo the meiosis, and that will going to produce 2 cell stage, that is a diad, and finally it will going to form tetrad. So this 1 2 3 4, out of which one remain the functional. So all these will going to degenerate, one remain functional. So one remain functional, right. So and this in this one where one nucleus which is there, so if you consider this, now the nuclear division takes place. So one in which 2 nucleus will be produced, right, and after that they're going to move towards the opposite pole, and then 2 becomes, right, each one becomes the like this, the 2s becomes 4, and now this 2 further, that is the first mitotic division, second mitotic division, and the third mitotic division, and finally leads to 4 nucleus will be produced, and out of that 2 will going to reach the polar, from the pole towards the center. That is why we can say these nuclei are called as polar nuclei. You pole in the central region of the embryo sac. We can say that during development, and finally here we can take, and these will going to develop into synergids, right. 2 synergids and 1 egg cell. So that is towards the chalaza. Micropylar end. So towards the chalaza antipodal, that is towards the micropylar end. Towards the micropylar end, egg cell and synergids together, which will be called it as egg apparatus anta kariತೀವಿ. Next there will be 3 antipodals. So antipodals, right, 3 antipodals, right, and this is the central cell, this is the 4th cell, 5th cell, 6th cell, and 7th cell. So there are 7 cells. What about the nucleus? 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, 7 cell, 8 nucleated stage, finally attained by that matured embryo sac. So with this we can conclude this the structure of embryo sac, and finally we can take some questions, and later pollination and different types we can discuss in the next part. So which of the following statement is correct? So which of the following statement correct related to the the flower? Flower is a modified root, flower is a modified shoot, flower is a modified leaf, flower is a modified inflorescence. Flower is a modified modified shoot. Flower is a modified shoot. Already we have discussed that exactly the flower, when the development takes place, the shoot part, with the help of hormone called as florigen, right? The axil it will going to produce from the shoot part. So flower is the modified, what is it, the shoot. Ovule of an angiosperm is technically, ovule of an angiosperm technically equivalent to. ಸೊ ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ಓವ್ಯೂಲ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮೆಗಾಸ್ಪೋರೋಜೆನಿಸಿಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ದಿ ಓವ್ಯೂಲ್ ಮೆಗಾಸ್ಪೋರೋಜೆನಿಸಿಸ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್. ಸೊ ಮೆಗಾಸ್ಪೋರೋಜೆನಿಸಿಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ದಿ ಆ್ಯಂಥರ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್, ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಪೋರೋಜೆನಿಸಿಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆ್ಯಂಥರ್ನ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಪೊರಾಂಜಿಯಮ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಓವ್ಯೂಲ್ನ ಮೆಗಾಸ್ಪೊರಾಂಜಿಯಮ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿಬೋದು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಮೆಗಾಸ್ಪೊರಾಂಜಿಯಮ್. ಸೊ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ, megasporangium. Right. Next, which one is female gametophyte? So which one is female gametophyte? So female gametophyte, we already mentioned that is the mature female gametophyte is called as embryo sac, 7-celled 8 nucleate stage, 7-celled 8 nucleate stage, which will be obtained during the development. So that is what exactly after megasporogenesis with development takes place. Female gametophyte is also called as embryo sac. So filiform apparatus, if you consider this, there are two synergids we mentioned, right? One egg cell, if you consider this is the micropylarin, this is the chalazoline, and here one egg cell which is there, and what is it, the two synergids. In that synergids we can see what is it, filiform apparatus. So this we can discuss about while discussing about the fertilization or double fertilization. In these filiform apparatus which will be there, right, so present in the synergids, they guides the pollen tube towards the, what is it, egg cell, towards the egg cell. So if this is the egg cell, and through the pollen tube, that is two male gametes which are going to, two male gametes ಅಥವಾ male nucleus, ಟು ಮೇಲ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದನ್ನು ಇಟ್ ಗೈಡ್ಸ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ದಿ ಎಗ್ ಸೆಲ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿಚ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಡಬಲ್ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ಫಿಲಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ apparatus present in synergids. How many antipodal cells are there? 3. How many egg cell? 1. Secondary nucleus, that is what polar, in the central cell polar nuclei will be there. They are going to fuse together to form secondary nucleus. And then one more male nuclei reach, and that forms, what is that, primary endosperm nucleus that develops into secondary endosperm nucleus, right? So pen which develops into secondary endosperm nucleus, or you can say that the pen, primary endosperm, and all those two nucleus fuse secondary nucleus, and then one more is going to fuse, that is primary endosperm nucleus, that is triploid in nature, right? Triploid in nature. Next, so one egg cell which fuses with one male gamete, that is called as syngamy. The one which is fuses with the second male gamete fuses with the, what is it, the nucleus, that is the polar nuclei, that forms a triple fusion. So answer for that is, what is that, synergids. And next, perisperm. So persistent nucellus in seed, that is what you can say that in black pepper we can see black pepper, sometimes endosperm remains, remnant of endosperm will be there, black pepper, and what is the beetle, right? So that where we can say persistent nucellus which is present. Actually nucellus which will be finally utilized completely because of the nutritive nature, right? Next, self pollination means, so here chasmogamy refers to. So chasmogamy refers to the condition where, so generally some flowers are open flowers, always they are going to open, some are closed. So open condition which we call it as chasmogamous flowers. Artha madkoli. If such flower which will going to show, what is it, pollination, that is called as chasmogamy. Chasmogamy, pollination of chasmogamous flower. Closed condition which is called as cleistogamous. Cleistogamous, closed condition. Such flowers which show pollination, cleistogamy, they never open. Cleistogamous, they never open. Bud pollination, in the bud stage pollination takes place and later they are going to open. So first the transfer, after transfer of the pollen grain from anther to stigma, later the bud opens. Chasmogamy refers to condition where flower remains closed, that is the cleistogamy. Flower is absent, wrong, that is flower opens, that is chasmogamy, right? So that is what you have to keep it in mind. So flowers open. Next, when pollen grains of a flower transferred to a stigma of another flower on different plants. So this is in the pollination. So pollination we can take we know that transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of the same flower we can say autogamy. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ pollination classify ಮಾಡೋಣ. There are three types. One is autogamy, and second one gitogamy, and the third one gitogamy and xenogamy. So gitogamy, or you can say that the gitonogamy. So gitonogamy, autogamy, gitonogamy and xenogamy. Autogamy, transfer of pollen grain, right, from anther to the stigma of the same flower. The pollination takes place within the same flower, and here different same flower of same plant. Same flower of same plant ಅಂದಾಗ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ, this which will going to show both ecologically and genetically self pollination. Ecologically and genetically self pollination ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Self pollination. Autogamy is ecologically and ecologically and genetically self pollination, whereas here different flower at different location ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಇದು flowers, right? So ecology change ಆಯಿತು, but the genotype is same. Different flower of same plant. So pollination takes place between the different flower of same plant, that is ecologically cross pollination ಇದು. Ecologically, what is that? Cross pollination, right? Whereas genetically which is self pollination. Note ಮಾಡಿ ಇದು, genetically self pollination. And one more, xenogamy, different flowers of different plants. Pollination takes place between different flowers of different plants. Ecology change ಆಯಿತು, ಹಾಗೆ genetics change ಆಯಿತು, genotype change ಆಯಿತು. So this is a one plant, and from this flower to this flower, this is the other plant where it will going to takes place, right? So that is what we can represent different flower of the different plant. So both ecologically and genetically cross pollination, both genetically and ecologically cross pollination. So example ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡೋಣ, autogamy pea rice wheat. Example we can write pea rice wheat, that is autogamy, that is it is a self pollination. ಹಾಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, chasmogamous flowers which shows, right, self pollination. Some chasmogamous, that is Camelina axalis viola. Camelina axalis viola, commonly called as common fancy. So these are in both all these the flowers we can see two types of species. Some are chasmogamous, some are cleistogamous, right? We can write these examples for both cleistogamous and chasmogamous. Gitogamy, example we can take cucurbits, and then xenogamy, that is papaya and papaya and maize. Papaya and maize. So with this we can consider idu note ಮಾಡಿ ecologically and genetically self pollination, ecologically cross pollination, genetically self pollination, both ecologically and genetically cross pollination, autogamy, geitonogamy, xenogamy. So answer for that seventh one, right? So seventh question here we can say, when pollen grains of flower are transferred to stigma of another flower of a different plant ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ಜನರಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ xenogamy. ಸೊ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ xenogamy, ರೈಟ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, the main embryo developed from the structure formed as a result of, the main embryo developed from the structure formed as a result of, ಎಂಬ್ರಿಯೋ ಯಾವುದರಿಂದ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? ಝೈಗೋಟಿಂದ. ಝೈಗೋಟ್ ಯಾವುದರಿಂದ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೇಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್. ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೇಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ಗೆ? ಸಿಂಗ್ಯಾಮಿ, ರೈಟ್. ಝೈಗೋಟ್ develops into embryo which is called as embryogenesis. Next, after fertilization seed is developed from. So we all know that how exactly the structure will going to develop after fertilization, that is post fertilization events. ಓದಿದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾವು. Ovules which develops into seed, ovary develops into fruit. So this I have explained. Ovarian wall develops into pericarp, ovarian wall develop into pericarp, and same like that integument develops into outer integument develops into outer integument develops into testa, inner integument develop into tegmen, right? So tegmen. So that is what after fertilization seed is developed from. So ovule which forms a seed. So double fertilization sorry, fusion of product of polar nuclei and male gamete is. So I've already mentioned that when polar nuclei and the polar nuclei, when polar nuclei and the fusion of product of polar nuclei and male gamete. ಸೊ ಅವೆರಡು ಪೋಲಾರ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೈ ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆದರೆ ದಟ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ರಿ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಈಗ ಇದೆರಡು ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ರಿ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೇಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆದರೆ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಎಂಡೋಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಪೆನ್ ಟ್ರಿಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ನಾನು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಟು ಕೀಪ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ಮೈಂಡ್. ಸೊ ವಿತ್ ದಿಸ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್. ವಿಲ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಇನ್ ದಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.